Story starts with an angel wanted to go meet humans because someone suggested her to meet humans. A boy named Tokumitsu ends his late-night shift from the cafe and goes home. While thinking about how it's been few months, he started going to high school and also getting a work. He sleeps in bed because he was tired. Next day when he wakes up, he puts some milk in the glass to drink. He notices a girl and thinks she is dead in his balcony. Due to this shock, he spills his milk on her clothes, which wakes up the girl, so he started apologizing for it. She asks him for clothes. While changing, he gives her a t-shirt because that's all he had. She was looking very cute and hot in that, which made Tokumitsu flustered. They introduced themselves and the girl's name was Toa. She says sorry to be sleeping without his permission on his balcony. She also thanks God for letting her meet such a nice guy. She thinks he lives in a mansion, but Tokumitsu tells her he lives in this small room, which is a part of the building, and they laugh because she thinks it's like a storage room. She asks Tokumitsu she will do anything for him since she was sleeping in her balcony. She insists she will do anything, but Tokumitsu, as a nice guy, he refuses. So she asks him, let her cook for him, but there is no food to cook. So she insists to clean, but he stops her, but she accidentally finds his dirty magazine. Soon she caught up between cat fight and get injured. Tokumitsu asks her why she ran away and where is she from. She clears his confusion by telling him she is an angel in a cute way, and she came from heaven. She came to earth to study human behavior, behalf of all angel kinds. Hearing this, Tokumitsu starts thinking she is some kind of religion salesgirl and she wants to sell him something. Toa asks him, can she stays here because she doesn't have anywhere to sleep for now. Suddenly Tokumitsu's phone starts ringing, telling him to go for the job, so he asks Toa to dress up, and then he tells her now she can go home. In the evening, due to Tokumitsu having fever, he leaves work early. On the way he meets Toa-chan, who was walking with an old man. Tokumitsu thinks it's her dad, but she tells him this kind man asks me to go to hotel with him. Hearing this, he grabs her and walks away, but soon he faints on the street due to fever. When he wakes up, he sees that Toa is in his home and she made something with the leftover items to feed him. Seeing this melts Tokumitsu, so he asked her to stay with him since she doesn't have anywhere else to go. He also asks her how did she bring him home, he must be heavy, but she replies she flew him to home because she is an angel. And her wings shows up. Seeing this, Tokumitsu faints again. When he wakes up, he thinks it was all a dream. But soon he finds her sleeping beside him, which freaks him out and he gets flustered. Then they go out to supermarket for food. Seeing a bread with free plates makes Toa excited, and her wings shows up, which made Tokumitsu panic, and he tells her not to show them to people. She tells him about how she learned few things from heaven before coming to human world. Tokumitsu asks what angels do, so Toa says they convey God's message to people. She came to Earth to learn more about humans. Tokumitsu was happy to hear that. Toa tries steam buns and she fell in love with it and asks him, can they eat it every day? Hearing that, Tokumitsu was heartbroken because he doesn't have enough money for 2 people to eat, so he tells her, let's go shopping to buy groceries so it will be cheaper to eat. Hearing this, the angel was happy. Seeing her happy, Tokumitsu blushed. They reach the mall and seeing it for the first time, Toa starts to wander around in surprise, but Tokumitsu asks her to be with him. They shop around for things. Someone comment she looks like a cosplayer, so Tokumitsu thinks about buying her few clothes. In the cloth section, when she went to try clothes, the worker tells Tokumitsu he has a beautiful girlfriend, which made him blush, and he denies that. While changing clothes, she thinks about how good he is and what can she do to make him happy. So after changing, she goes to him and says she will make him happy, which really makes Tokumitsu happy. After that, she asks, does she look good in that dress? Tokumitsu starts complimenting her and both go home happily. After reaching home, he says sorry, it must be tiring for her, but she says she was happy. Then she starts putting groceries and she noticed the mug she wanted, which Tokumitsu secretly bought for her. It really made her happy. During night, Tokumitsu grabbed his head because he only had one bed and they slept together.
After shopping, Toa cooks food for Shintaro, which he enjoys a lot. He also compliments her on her cooking skills. Shintaro also thinks, does he even deserve this good treatment? He asks Toa if he can do anything for her. Toa says she wants to learn something. Shintaro teaches her how to use bathtub and all the rules. After that, Shintaro goes to living room where he has all kind of dirty thoughts about Towa taking shower, so to distract himself he starts stewing. After some time he went to toilet to pee, but he accidentally saw Towa half naked. They both got shy, so Shintaro goes out. He apologized towards, but Towa says it's okay, it's also her fault. After that he goes to take bath, but suddenly Towa comes in shocking Shintaro. She just wanted to help wash his back. At night, Shintaro can't sleep because Towa is sleeping so close to him in one bed, which distract him a lot. Next morning, when Shintaro goes inside bathroom, he sees Towa naked again, creating a funny moment. They both start apologizing. While brushing in the bathroom, he thinks what can be done to avoid these things. Shintaro removes his pants to sit on the toilet at same time. Towa enters and sees Shintaro's minigun. They both scream and started apologizing. After that, Shintaro eats some delicious food made by Towa. Soon it's time for Shintaro to go school, so Towa wants to come as well, but Shintaro refused. He asked her to stay home, he will be back in evening. On the way to school, Shintaro meets his friends who ask him, is he not sleeping well? So he says, yeah, the girl was blushing seeing Shintaro, which means she loves him. They go to school together. Meanwhile, Towa completes doing home chores and takes rest while thinking about Shintaro. She looks at the time and it's afternoon, so she worried about Shintaro since he didn't took lunchbox. So she decides to take it to him. In school, students start eating their lunch, so the girl asks him what he will eat. So Shintaro says a bread, but then she tells him she can make lunchbox for him, so the other guy also wants her to make it for him, but she gets mad at him. She says it's for Shintaro because he lives alone. Shintaro sees Towa near window and starts shouting on the roof, and then he runs towards the roof to meet Towa. He asks Towa to not do these things. People might notice her wings and something bad may happen, so Towa says sorry. Seeing the lunchbox, Shintaro suggests let's eat together. They both enjoyed eating together. In the classroom, teacher asks for help, so the girl volunteers for it. While taking back the paper, she starts thinking about how she first met Shintaro 9 years ago when she got lost as a kid, and Shintaro helped her to get her home. After 9 years, she still remembers his name and accidentally meets Shintaro again in school results area. She had a crush on him and she thinks Faith has reunited them. After that, she sees Shintaro from the window with a girl. She was shocked and she thinks he must be dating her, so she got jealous. But then she sees the girl flying away and she was astonished by it. After coming back from school, Shintaro thanks Towa for the food, and he sees that his clothes has been washed by Towa, but he says he didn't teach her to use washing machine. So Towa says she learned it from the guide. Shintaro notices his underwear has been clean, which makes him super shy, and when he opens it, he sees cute teddy in it, which Towa says she put it there because there was hole in his pants. Hearing this, Shintaro got flustered. He wanted to apologize to Towa for washing his pants, but instead he said from now on he will wash his pants so she doesn't have to touch it, please. From that day, he always washed his underwear. Meanwhile, Tsumugi keeps thinking about asking Shintaro about the flying girl who came to him, but she can't. So she feels frustrated, but she decides she will ask him next day. While going to school, Shintaro tells Towa he doesn't want lunchbox, so Towa asks him, does he now started hating her, and she starts crying, so Shintaro eventually takes the lunch. He also tells her he has to go to work, so he will be late. So Towa wants to join him, but Shintaro refuses. She was about to cry. So Shintaro sweet talks about how she made lunch for him. He is so lucky when he will come back, she will make dinner for him. Hearing this, she got happy. Shintaro goes to school happily. During lunch break, he was about to sneak away with the lunchbox, but his friend noticed him and asked him to join them. Tsumugi notices his lunchbox. So Shintaro says he helped an old lady, she gave him this lunch, and when he opens it, it's written Shintaro in his food, which he quickly starts eating it, so that he does not get caught by his lie. Tsumugi noticed the name, so she gets depressed and starts thinking, a girl must have made lunch for him. When Shintaro arrives for the work, the owner tells him Noel has joined him for work. When Shintaro opens the door for the changing room, he sees a girl is half naked wearing cheery underwear. Both of them get flustered and the girl give a slap to Shintaro. We see Shintaro cleaning dishes and Noel gives him a cold hand towel for his face. Shintaro thanks her and also apologizes for what happened, but she says it's okay because it's her fault for not locking the door. She introduces herself as Noel. Hearing this, Shintaro tells her, did she born on Christmas, so she gets mad and tells him, does he have any problem? After that, they both do their respective work diligently. While working, Shintaro notices Noel and thinks about her cherry underwear, which he doesn't want to think about, but he couldn't do anything about it. He feels very guilty. After work, the owner tells them they did great job and there is a dessert for them which they can eat it. They both go to the changing room and Noel brings out the dessert. Shintaro says, oh, there is cherry on top, which reminds him of her underwear, but it also reminds Noel of the incident and she blushed and refused that she doesn't remember anything. So Shintaro also acts, yeah, nothing happened, but then everything gets getting cold and snow starts to appear on the room. He sees Noel is trembling, so he tried to help her, but Noel shouts at him to not touch her because she is Yuki Onna. Meanwhile, entire cafe is getting colder by minute. Hearing that she is Yuki Onna, Shintaro is not surprised because he knows an angel, so he says he believes her. Noel gets shocked and we hear outside people are complaining about cold, so they both run away to the streets. While on the streets, they notice that they have brought the dessert. Seeing this, they laugh. We see Tawa enjoying playing video games at home. She notices it's time for Shintaro to come home, but he isn't arrived yet. While studying, Tsumugi can't concentrate while thinking about Shintaro and that girl. So for getting fresh, she goes outside for eating ice cream. We see Shintaro and Noel in a park. They finished eating dessert and now Shintaro is trying to talk and cheer her up, but it doesn't work. Suddenly, Noel says, you believe in Yuki Onna, right? I have to tell you something. She tells him how in her family for generations Yuki Onna has been born, and when they feel certain emotions like sad, embarrassed, or angry, they bring cold blizzard. Because of which, she was not able to make friends in her school years. She only reads manga and anime in her room, so to help people she joined the restaurant, but still, she brought trouble. Then she starts crying. Seeing this, Shintaro tells her she is an amazing person and she brings smile on customer face, so she is not bad. Hearing this, she smiled and asks him will be her friend. Shintaro says yes, and then she smiles. We see that Tawa is above them, and Shintaro is shocked seeing her because now Noel also saw her with wings, and we see Tsumugi also comes there and saw Tawa flying with her wings. Now Shintaro thinks he is in a big trouble now. All of them see each other and are shocked. They are all asking Tokumitsu about it. And now Tokumitsu feels confused. So he asks them to be quiet and ask what Tsutsumi is doing here. She says she was just passing by. So Tokumitsu asks, can you all forget about it and go home? They say no, and Tokumitsu feels depressed. He wonders how he will explain it all. Noel feels super excited seeing a beautiful angel. Tsutsumi asks, is she an angel? She says yes. Towa explains how she came to Earth to learn about humans, and it's her pleasure to meet them. They ask Tokumitsu, so she is living with you and she is an angel? He says yes. And he didn't want others to know about Tawa, or it will create a fuss. Tsutsumi says they won't tell anyone. Also, no one will believe it unless they see her flying. She asks, why live in Tokumitsu's place? Tawa says because she fall asleep in his balcony, and Tokumitsu says she has no place else to go. Hearing it, Tsutsumi feels a lot of love towards him, but she controls herself. She also asks your lunch is made by her. He says yes. This pisses off Tsutsumi because of jealousy. She asks why is he with Noel? He asks you know her, so she says yes. She saw her and everyone calls her Ice Queen. He quickly explains that she works with him now. She also thinks of applying for a job there. She sees Tokumitsu calls both of them using first name and he never did to her, which made her even more jealous. But suddenly, Noel tells everyone she is a Yuki Onna, and she tells she is showing her power by remembering how Tokumitsu saw her half naked. She brings Blizzard when she is embarrassed, but Tokumitsu keeps telling her pants are showing off, but she doesn't listen. Everyone believes she is Yuki Onna, but Tokumitsu asks why she tells them. She says it's because they are his friend and she doesn't want to hide anything. Even Towa shared her secret, so she believes them. Seeing this, Tsutsumi also tells her secret that she used to pee in her bed until 5th grade, but Tokumitsu says, "You don't have to say it." So she says everyone is telling their secrets, so she wants to do it too. Towa thanks all of them, but Noel asks, can she adjust her wing size and can she touch it? So Tsutsumi also joins in to touch it. Towa and Tokumitsu reach home and he is so tired that he falls on the floor, so Towa goes quickly to cook food for him. While cooking, she says, sorry for flying to meet him and exposing her secret, but Tokumitsu says it's okay. But don't do it again or it might create a lot of problems. Next day, someone rings the doorbell and when Tokumitsu opens it, lots of man in suit comes in to capture Towa and Yuki Onna. And when they search the wardrobe, they find Kappa and Yuki Onna who ask for help from Tokumitsu. He is shocked seeing Kappa and everyone is forcefully taken. This scares the shit out of him. He screamed Towa and Towa says, "What is it?" He wakes up from dream. In school, we see Tokumitsu and Tsutsumi both have eye bags because both couldn't sleep peacefully, and she was worried about him living with Towa, and now seeing Noel, both of them are prettier than her. So she asked him cunningly, is he dating any of them? He says no, he doesn't. He only know them now. Hearing this her in her mind, she screams, hell yeah. After class, Tokumitsu sees Noel is being invited by other guys, but she ignores them, but when she sees Tokumitsu, she gets hyper excited and plans random stuff do with him because he is her friend and in manga friends do exciting things. Tokumitsu thinks she really doesn't know how to make friends. He reminds her that he has work after school, so she gets sad. So he says, let's meet after work, and they both agree. We see Towa thinking about what gig means. She sees a black cat and asks him to show the way where Tokumitsu works. In cafe, while working every time, when Noel sees Tokumitsu, she super excitingly greets him. Seeing this, the owner asks, Tokumitsu is he dating Noel? Tokumitsu gets shocked and immediately tells him he is not dating her. But owner tells him he doesn't mind him dating, but Tokumitsu refused and said he really doesn't date her. But the owner says Noel told him to put her work schedule on the day Tokumitsu works, but now he understands. We see Tokumitsu is going to take some order, but he gets surprised by seeing Towa and Tsutsumi together. He asks what is she doing here, so Towa tells him she asked the cat to show her his workplace, and she followed him. And on the way she meets Tsutsumi, so she joined her too. Tsutsumi says she wanted to eat parfait, so she came, but actually, Tsutsumi just wanted to see how his and Noel's relationship is in workplace. After taking orders, Tokumitsu goes to handle other orders. Seeing him work, Tsutsumi thinks what a hunk he is and how hot he looks. She couldn't hide her excitement. Then a old lady asks for something, but Towa goes to her for help, so Tsutsumi come and take her back and tells her that it's not her work, so sit with her. Then they see Noel and they both greet each other. Tsutsumi thinks she might rarely work on the same shift as Tokumitsu, but then when Noel sees Tokumitsu, she again gets excited. Seeing this, Tsutsumi gets jealous. Then the owner calls Noel and tells her that she should control herself while working. So Noel goes to Shintaro and tells him she can't be her friend in work because she can't work and be friends with him the same time. Tokumitsu says he understands. Hearing this, Noel gets mad, and she runs away while saying, now, we are strangers, don't talk to me. Towa enjoyed drinking melon cola for first time, but Tsutsumi asks, let's order something else. She has, drink a lot. They decide what to order, and seeing cheese hamburger Towa gaze, excited, but she says she also has to cook food. Hearing that she cooks food for Shintaro, she gets super jealous. Then Towa asks, "What Shintaro do here?" So Tsutsumi says, "Don't you see he is doing job here?" Towa gets surprised because she thought gig means side gig and she doesn't know what it means. She wonders why is he doing job, so Tsutsumi tells her that most students work, it's normal. She goes to toilet. Now Tokumitsu is thinking about what Towa is doing, so he sees that Towa is asking everyone what they need. Do they want to order something? Tokumitsu felt embarrassing, so he grabbed her and took her some other place and asked, "What are you doing it?" Towa says she wants to help him so he can come home early. So Tokumitsu tells her that he works on hourly wages, which she doesn't understand. He says, "Anyways, you don't have to work. It won't change my time." Towa argues, is he doing it so he can provide for her living expenses? So Tokumitsu tells her, no, it's not. He used to work before he meet her, so she doesn't have to worry. She says, is she a burden? So Tokumitsu tells her she is being a great help after her coming to his life. It becomes so easy for him to focus on work and do so much more. She cooks very delicious food too. So Towa says she will be waiting for him at home with delicious food, so work hard. Behind the wall, the owner is listing it in AW, and he says, "What a beautiful love triangle is going in here. It's so good to be young." But then Noel appears and tell him to remove her work time from the time Tokumitsu works. So he thinks Noel broke up with Tokumitsu. Shintaro describes his life after Towa moves in with him, and how so many things changed, like from eating ready-to-eat rice to rice cooker usage. But he finds it weird that they use it in front of TV, but Towa explains there is no other place. And he agreed. Shintaro asks, "By the way, what do you eat in heaven?" She says, "In heaven they have lots of trees." Shintaro thinks they eat fruits, but she tells him that tree provides them warm food inside fruit. Towa asks to refill his rice, but he insists on doing it. He also says it might be the perfect spot for rice cooker. Tsutsumi starts wondering about how, after the park incident, he started asking her advice for Towa. She also thinks he was special from the start too, like how he is living alone in his aunt's apartment because his parents moved to foreign and he stayed here because he only knows Japanese. He also said he chose this school because it's near his apartment, for which Tsutsumi is great fuel because she is able to meet him. They told him not tell others or they might use his room, so he also said he only told them because he trusts them, which touched their hearts. But she still feels jealous because he talks about other girls in front of her. Also the fact that they are more beautiful than her. Now she thinks about what if she had made her move first before Towa arrived, but then who knew an angle will come, it's not fair for her. She also asks her mom, does their ancestors belong to mythical creatures? She says no, and Tsutsumi gets depressed because she is normal. Later, her mom remembers she has a sweets coupon. She gives it to Tsutsumi to go eat with friends, and she imagined being alone eating with Shintaro, so she thanks her mom. In school, she thinks of asking out Shintaro for a lone date, so she thinks of saying, let's grab donuts after school. But when it comes to say it, she keeps stuttering the whole time and thinks if she was able to ask him out easily, she would have been dating him already and gets sad. In the end, Shuichi sees she has a coupon and asks Shintaro to join. Hearing this, she feels proud that he is her childhood friend, but then his club leader comes to take him, so she gets depressed. But he says, Shintaro, please keep in mind when you eat snacks there. Tsutsumi gets happier that she can go out with Shintaro alone, but Shintaro asks, let's go to library first. Inside the library, he goes to check books on angles and mythical creatures because it's too late to search on internet now. He also thinks he might seize Kappa or devil, so he wants to know. Tsutsumi thinks he is setting a flag. Shintaro thanks her that they both came together here, which made Tsutsumi blush. He also appreciates that she told everyone her secret to make them at ease. She blushed and says, forget about it at that time, she only remembered that embarrassing incident. While studying, Shintaro feels sleepy, and Tsutsumi notices some weird creature. It's not a kappa, it's Shirikodama, so she wants to ask him, but she sees he is already asleep, so she stares at him and falls asleep. Later it's raining, and Shintaro apologies for delaying it, and he says she should go alone and eat because he can't go home full stomach. Towa is cooking for him. Hearing this, she runs and says it's not late, so he also follows her. She sees a boy falls and breaks his umbrella, so she helps him and gives her umbrella. Seeing this, Shintaro thinks she is a good person, and then they both share one umbrella to go to the store. Next day, when school ends, Shintaro thinks he doesn't have work today, so Noel will be waiting for him because they plan to enjoy together. Noel gets excited seeing him. Then they both go together. Shintaro was first worried what they will talk about, but Noel was very talkative about anime and manga. She also recommended him some. She says, let's buy Friends Dairy, so we can share. So Shintaro explains that in real life people don't do that. This comes as a shock to her. On the side, people notices Noel is very beautiful, but they didn't know she ever talked with anyone. She asks if eating while going home is common or not, so he explains it's very normal. She goes inside to grab 2 ice cream and they both share it. She wasn't able to talk properly after eating ice because her tongue got cold. So she says, you might have thought how can Yuki Onna can get this right. He says, yeah, haha. While walking, Noel tells him she was planning about today the whole night, which surprised him. He says he only had a dream about a kappa. They both laugh. When they reach near the point to go separate ways to home, Noel shouts, next time you will buy us ice cream, so he says, yeah. When Noel reaches home, she undresses her skirt and keeps thinking about her day with Shintaro, which she enjoyed a lot. Shintaro, on his way to room, thinks lots of things have changed since Towa came to his life. When he opens the door, he sees Towa and a small angel both in towel, which shocks him, and both of them feel embarrassed because of him. So little angel slaps Shintaro and says, I can't tolerate this, Towa-sama. I'm taking you heaven right this minute. Towa was folding clothes and she heard a loud sound when she checked it. She saw Shu-chan, a cute little angel. She hugged Towa. And since she got dirty after landing, so Towa offered her bath. That's what happened, Towa explained to Shintaro. Then Shu introduces herself as an angel and tried to take Towa away. But Towa tried hard to calm her down and offered her milk, which she loves the most. She calms down. Shintaro wonders there are small angels too. But yeah, cupids are baby angels. Towa asks why she came here. Others are not allowed to come, so Shu tells her God sent her because she didn't contacted them for weeks, and she was worried. Towa is surprised how she found her. Shu, with proud, tells her she can sense her aura to find her, but she didn't expect her to live in a dump. Towa, it's Shintaro's home. Shu asks, is it a male? No, you can't live in a male home. They are dirty, perverted. Towa says Shintaro is a good-hearted person. Let's eat Shintaro's favorite food I'll cook. It surprised Shu that Towa is cooking and cleaning for a man, so she asks, who is Shintaro? Towa points at him. Shu gets mad at Shintaro for making Towa work for him. She thinks he's a pervert, so she will kill him now. Towa says it's a bad word who teaches you this, so she says, okay, you will meet your maker, which scares him. Towa gives her more milk to calm her down. Then Shu again asks her to go with her, but Towa says God sent her to learn. Also going out is dangerous, Shintaro told her. Shu asks, how is she going to learn about human if she can't go out, which shocks both of them. She still insists her to go with her, but she refuses, so she changes target and told him Towa is of high status. Don't treat her bad. Shintaro aggress and says she does this for him because she cares about him, which pissed off Shu. She wants Towa to herself, so she calls humans as liars. Towa explains Shintaro is a good person. He cares for her and scolded her out of concern, so she wants to repay his kindness and make him happy. This words hits Shintaro's heart. Shu runs away while crying. They both chase after her but can't find her. So Shintaro asked if she prefers going up or down. Towa says up, so they go to the upper garden and meets her there. Towards apologize and ask her for hug, which she does, and teases Shintaro. Then her crystal starts beeping. Shintaro thinks she is about to blow up, but it says 1 minute left. Then she will be in heaven. Seeing this, Shiyu starts crying and asks Towa again, but she refused. So she said to Shintaro to take care of her, even though she doesn't believe in him. Then she vanished. Towa looks around the garden and Shintaro says what Shiyu said was true. So from now on, you can go out when I'm in school, and after dinner we can walk out together so she can learn more. She gladly accepts. They go out on streets. Shintaro stops her to show traffic light to explain. And when it goes green, they can walk. But Towa points out the sign is not walking, which was funny. They came back home and greets each other, which makes them blush. While watching TV, Shintaro thinks if he should allow Towa to use train and bus, but it's dangerous for her, so she should not go there. Towa says this looks pretty, so Shintaro says it's near, which Towa thought everything in TV is just fictional, not real, so she actually can eat this. Shintaro says, let go there tomorrow to eat. She got really happy. Towa experienced her first time in train station and how her ticket disappeared in the machine, which she doesn't know why. They reach to the next location where she hurried to go, but Shintaro stops her, so she grabs his hands, which made him blush. And they go to the shop and she enjoyed the fruit sandwich. Then they go around enjoying places. They stop at a park where Tord sees a dick boat and wants to try it. So Shintaro says, let's try it. While on boat, Towa starts paddling fast, which scares Shintaro. The old couples near the lake sees them and comments what a cute couple they are, hearing that Shintaro flustered and starts paddling fast. After that, Towa notices a dango store and grabs Shintaro's hand, but he said, only people in relationship hold hands like this. A lady on her phone accidentally made Towa fall, which made Shintaro mad, but she says it's okay. He apologized that every time she gets in danger, it's a human's fault. Every human is selfish, even him, she says. If you can't care about yourself, how can you care about others? He thinks he is lucky to meet her and offer her to go eat dango.
After the date, Towa thanks Shintaro for this wonderful date, and on the way they buy some takeout as they don't want to cook food now. Reaching home, they see someone outside who suddenly hugs Shintaro, and we find out she is her aunt, and she eats all the food they brought. She also tells them she is a manga artist, so Towa asks what that is. So Shintaro explains, but he doesn't have any of her work, which upsets his aunt. But he says, you ate our dinner. She says she was waiting for him from 3 p.m. He says that's a lot why she didn't contacted him. She tells him she left her phone because her editor kept a GPS tracker in it, so she came here to escape Towa. Suggest cooking food, but Mari brings out cake since it's her birthday, and no one remembers it. She thought her editor will wish her, but she didn't, so she came here to celebrate with him, and then she starts crying. Towa gives her napkin, and then she asks Shintaro who she is now. He is in a difficult situation. What to tell her. He wonders if he should says she is an angel, but Towa starts thanking her because Shintaro helped her a lot, but he tries to stop her because this might get him in big trouble. She says, is she your girlfriend, tell me, you naughty boy? But he says she is her classmate, and they are discussing about school festival. She says, oh, come on, tell me more. He says no. She then goes to Towa and starts crying and tell her how she used to clean Shintaro's diaper as a baby, and she used to babysit him, and she says she will show her his childhood pic, which Towa really want to see. This makes Shintaro flustered after that. Towa goes to make tea and she goes to toilet. She noticed 2 brushes, so Shintaro tells her a lie again after that. In toilet, she started thinking about that Shintaro can bring anyone, means he can do anything in his room, even bad stuff with girls. She screams and Shintaro tells her he's not that type of guy after that. When Towa brings her tea and they talk, she asks Shintaro to walk Towa to her home now. Towa gets confused what she will do, but on the way, Shintaro tells her to fly back after the turn and go to the balcony of the apartment. And she does that and hides there when Shintaro arrives home, and he asks Mari to go home, but she starts throwing tantrums about how her editor Kita Matsuri forgot her birthday, and she had to work all day, so she doesn't want to go home. Hearing the name of editor, Shintaro was surprised because that editor got work from Hollywood and is famous, so he again starts encouraging her to go, but she wants to stay and sleep here. So Towa from balcony gives him a signal that she will sleep in balcony, but the doorbell rings, and the editor, who is a girl, comes in and starts scaring Marie when she noticed Shintaro. She starts apologizing that Mari is causing him trouble. So Shintaro says, "No worries, just don't let her escape again." Mari asks how did she find her. She says she wanted to celebrate her birthday, but she was not present at home. Mari got shy and says she knew that she will come, and then they both goes together happily, and Toa comes in and talks about how Marie is a funny person, and then they sleep. Next evening, a girl bumps into him, and he sees some guys are following her, so he tried to help her, and they both run away, but actually the guys were trying to give her the book she dropped. After helping the girl escape, they rest in a dark alley. The girl introduced herself as a vampire Lilishka, hearing that Tokumitsu thought why he ends up with supernatural beings, but then he sees her red contact lens falls out one after the other, so she makes excuses like her eyes got dry and accidentally said it was worth 1,500 yen, which Tokumitsu hears and confronts her. She tries to dismiss it. He thinks she's a nutcase, so he asks where he should drop her. She says in the cafe she works. Near the cafe, she insists him to stay, but he thinks Toa is waiting for him, so he runs away. She thinks he has a good smell. Later, Shintaro tells Toa about it, how the girl has a main character syndrome, where the world revolves around her to thinks it's great. After that, they sleep, but during night, someone is licking Tokumitsu. When he checks, he find out it's the girl from before, and he shouts, "Toa, ask who she is." He says the girl I meet before. He asks, where did she came from? She points towards balcony. He sees the window has hole. Now he asks her to leave, but she demands to lick him or sniff him one more time, and then she will go bit. He says no. Toa says it's nice to see a vampire, but he says she's not. But then he sees her fly and believes she really is one. She says she doesn't want blood. She cares about other boundary, and she can live with drinking anything red. So when Shintaro tried to look for something, she couldn't control herself and jumps onto Shintaro. But in the end, she didn't go and sleeps with them. Early morning, Toa notices Lilishka isn't there, so she gets panicked. She thinks she might be burnt due to sunlight, which also makes Shintaro sad. He thinks about it all day in school. He thinks he should check her on that cafe while walking. Tsumugi grabs him from behind to check if he is doing well. She thinks he looks gloomy because of final exam studies, but he was not. He was shocked that FINA exams are near, so he asked her for notes later during lunch break. His friend asked him to bring him pudding since he's going to cafeteria. After grabbing everything on the way, he felt hungry, so he sat down on bench and starts eating. He has some rice on his cheek, which Lilishka licks it off. And this shocks Shintaro. He asks, "Did you follow me?" She says she is from class 2, and he is from class 1. She sniffed his scent and followed him. She thanks him for believing in her, and also she insists on come and live with him. But before he says anything, he remembers he has to give pudding, so he runs away to class. In class, he asks if someone knows her, so some girls tells him her name is Kagami, and she's funny because the first time she introduced herself as vampire, then Tsumugi points her. Isn't that her outside class? She runs away, seeing them after class ends. Tsumugi offers Shintaro notes, which he gladly accepts. And behind her, he sees a bat, which tells him to follow him. So he runs after it to reach a class. And Yuki also sees him going, where Lilishka is present inside the room. Lilishka orders Shintaro to become her servant, but he rejects it. So she says, "Aren't you glad that you can become the junior of such a cute bat?" He says no and asks why she is doing it. She says she wants to sniff him her whole life and offers him ticket for going out with her. After that, she gets tired of negotiations and forces him to let her sniff her. But the door opens and the two girls fall off who were following him. They notice vampire Yuki felt excited to see a vampire, and they both can't believe they exist. Yuki tells her she is a fan of vampires, and Tsumugi asks Shintaro, "Did you plan on meeting more supernatural?" Being Lilishka apologized to him for causing trouble for him, but she really wants a friend. Hearing this, Shintaro thinks it might be hard life for a vampire, so he offers her to come by his home sometime, and from the front door, and also no sniffing in school. Hearing this, she became happy, and Yuki also asked him to come his home, while Tsumugi thinks she can't even ask that. It's the end of Shintaro's final exams, and they are relaxing in club room Shintaro, and the others thanks Tsumugi for teaching them for exams. She blushed due to compliments. After that, Yuki suggests going to cafe to celebrate, and everyone agrees. Before that, Shintaro asks, "Where are the clubs?" Other members, Lilishka tells him they aren't present. When Shintaro opens the door accidentally, the girl outside falls onto him, and he thinks he made her cry. But Lilishka introduces her as Hisui. Then Shintaro introduces himself, but she shy away later on the way. Lilishka tells him how some members were senior, and they are gone to other school. So if he wants, he can be a member. They will provide AC room and cold drinks, but he refuses. But other girls look interested on the way they see some festival happening there, so they all go in. But Lilishka had most of the fun. and she asks Shintaro to let her sniff him, but he denies it. She asks her Luz, worried, so he tells her he feels like Hisui is scared of him, so she says maybe because he saw her panties, but she denied it after that. They go to try and eat food on the way. Shintaro sees cold cucumber, and Hisui also looks like she wants it, so he buys two and have her one and try to leave. But Hisui says he's thinking wrong. But before she can finish talking, all the girls came back and started going during evening. They all talk about how much fun they had, and Lilishka, looking at the sundown, start giving poses. Shintaro sees it, and thought she's going to fall, so he tried to save her, but he falls into the water because Lilishka can fly. Seeing this, Hisui jumps to save him, where Shintaro is drowning, and she pulls him out. Everyone comes to see how he's doing. Even Lilishka apologizes, and Hisui tells him she isn't scared of him. It's just she has never talked to boys, so she felt nervous. So Shintaro says it's okay. He understands it's been a good day. But Tsumugi stops. They all see a halo behind Hisui. Head, they think she is an angel, but she actually a kappa. And Lilishka tells him she is a special kappa. But Hisui thinks everything is over for her. But Yuki tells her they are the same, and she doesn't have to worry. They all will keep it a secret. So she feels better, and later Toa comes and gets really excited to see a kappa for the first time. Please subscribe for the next episode.